A 30% tariffs hike for South Africa. What does this mean for you and me? Does this symbolizes that Cyril Ramaphosa picked a wrong team to go and meet Trump? The trip to the White House is not yielding or giving the results we are hoping for. By now, you would have seen a letter from Trump to Ramaphosa. It's very direct and punishing. The visit to the Oval Office in the White House was a total failure and humiliation for South Africans. At least Cyril Ramaphosa is in Brazil attending a BRICS conference. Well, could it be that Jacob Zuma have paved a way, may have foreseen what was coming to South Africa? Well, Trump have decided to slap us in the face with the 30% tariffs. Now, we are waiting to find out from President of what was the outcome of the BRICS summit visit in Brazil. We want to know. We want to know what BRICS and Brazil summit present to us, the ordinary South African. In South Africa, there is this general perception that BRICS is an alternative. Now, that an alternative, we need to see the value of that alternative. We need to see if BRICS really is an alternative. We need to see leadership from Cyril Ramaphosa to see if he is able to capitalize on the opportunities that BRICS presents to South Africa. South Africa is a land of opportunities. Funny and sadly, many foreigners, people outside of South Africa, are able to grab and run with the opportunities in our own country. But we are lucky, very lucky, because we have a president whom, when he was appointed and ascended to the presidency, was presented to us as a businessman who is able to assess risk and opportunities. In this episode, I don't want to dwell on whether Cyril Ramaphosa is what was presented to us, but instead, I want to ask a question. Can South Africa fight back by raising its own tariffs? Welcome to another episode. Let's dive into it. So, 30% is not a joke. 30% tariffs dropped on South African exports. That's not news. That's a punch in the face. Because Cyril Ramaphosa went to the White House before the tariffs hit. And guess what? No deal. A businessman that is unable to strike a deal for his own country. Now we have seen the letter from Trump telling him straight in the face, the tariff is locked in, it's final, and it's coming into effect on the 1st of August. What happened to the meeting in the White House? Okay, will the BRICS help us now? Where are we? What's going on? In case you haven't seen it, this is it. It's no longer a hearsay. Hopefully you are able to read it because we don't have better resources and softwares. We are working from a cell phone. But this is a direct letter from President Trump sent through from the White House saying, Cyril, son, your country faces 30% tariffs unless you change your trade barriers. 30,000 people who are viewing videos on this channel but not subscribing. Anyways, this letter came after President Ramaphosa flew to the White House to discuss refugee policies. You go to the White House all the way from South Africa to America just to go and discuss refugee policies. Then you flew back with nothing. Then this is what happens. Is this what you went to collect in the White House using our money, our very hard-earned money? The truth is, this letter means that our negotiation window have closed. There's nothing that we can do anymore. American lawmakers abangalale passage have approved the tariffs, and there's nothing South Africa can do about it. Let me take you back in May. Cyril Ramaphosa visited Trump at the Oval Office because lezi nyemfu zamabhunu zithi there is genocide in South Africa, and that the land that they have stole from our ancestors is being taken back to its original owners, which really is a dream that we hope that the generation that comes after us get to see it in real life. Because in our generation, we're never gonna see the land being returned back to its original owners. So what happened? Ramaphosa went and talked about white genocide and land reforms and everything else, nothing about the tariffs. So this tariff came after. Is this a punishment or what? What do you think? Well, South Africa is a hopeful country, a country that always hopes for the better, a country that never wants to stand on its 2 feet, a country that never wants to realize its full potential. As we speak, Cyril Ramaphosa is in Brazil attending BRICS. Yes, we South Africans favor the BRICS. It is a great PR. But while Cyril Ramaphosa is in Brazil, the White House slaps us with 30% tariffs, plus another 10% threat if we keep aligning ourselves with anti-American allies. Let's address the fat lady in the room. Can BRICS save us? Yes, they talk about de-dollarization and local currencies, but tons of our exports still need American buyers. No, I was thinking about what does this mean for Lesotho and Swaziland or Eswatini, because in reality Lesotho and Eswatini is just little South Africa, you know. Now their oranges and textiles nemfaduka zabo, they get hit too. No border lockdown stops US tariffs. If we sneeze, they catch a cold. But wait, there are many American companies in SA. So what does this 30% tariff means for American companies that are operating in SA? Take for example the Ford Ranger. Oh Jesus, Nkulunkulu ngicela ungiphe amandla ngithenge Wild Track Ford Ranger. Ford Ranger is an American company. Wait. Let's not go to the Ford Ranger. Let's talk about something common that affects that every household uses. Coca-Cola, Coca-Cola. You know, Coca-Cola alone employs hundreds of thousands of people. And if SA retaliates and pull out, Coca-Cola closes shop. It's crazy. Can you imagine? But our biggest export to America is farm produce, izinto zasemaplazini, and auto parts, parts moto. Actually, South Africa is the second biggest exporter to America. That 30% tariff means fewer orders, shrunk margins, more retrenchment. Now, South African companies or brands operating in the States, they only have two choices: either to pass the cost to the consumer or to die ubolele emashalofini and nobody buys the products. We've seen what China did. They retaliated. Should South Africa retaliate? Okay, let me rather say, can South Africa retaliate South Africa is the weakest republic of all republics that ever existed. Eye for an eye sounds tempting, but South Africa does not have balls. But even if South Africa could grow balls one day, I don't think it would be a smart idea to go against the US, America, unless we move as a bloc, like BRICS. BRICS is a great platform. What Zuma launched and what platform that Zuma put us in, I think it's a great platform. What do you think? I think that going into a tariff war with America is suicide. We have got no manufacturing power and no bargaining power. But thina yazi sithini, makumele siqale phansi, singaqala phansi. If it means kumele siqale phansi, singaqala phansi. We just need bold leadership in South Africa. Because, the biggest problem is that BRICS leaders, they talk investment, currency workarounds, but there's no one in the BRICS who's got a market as big as the American market. Can we really rely on BRICS and stop shipping containers taxed at 30% to the US?